Department of Planning Services Surveyor.
Awesome. Pretty high, yeah. You want us to come up? Or?
Yeah, if you will, you need to be
Yeah.
where the X marks down there, I guess. There you go. Just who you are and what you represent.
It's Dave Shaw, Department of Planning Services.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Pershing, I'm the county surveyor.
Right.
Yeah, and we're here to talk about the Department of Planning Services intends to initiate a 2025 floodplain amendment for the Grabill zoning ordinance. This is an effort to appropriately realign duties between Allen County departments for more efficient government procedures. Specifically, this amendment would remove floodplain administrator duties from the Department of Planning Services and transfer them to the Allen County Surveyor's Office. You know, I think Ben has been saying, Ben Russell has been saying all along, this is two willing participants trying to just, you know, serve Allen
Which
County.
hasn't always been the case.
Right.
It is now.
So, thank you guys so much for your time and for listening. We don't have anything initiated with the Planning Commission as of yet, but we wanted to make sure you guys were okay with it before we did initiate it and we did start the process. So if you guys have any questions, we're more than happy to help.
Yeah, the new standalone ordinance that we created, so we had to unwind it or out of the zoning ordinance and create a standalone ordinance for the commissioners to sign. That is very similar to the existing regulations and something the DNR, we had to get pre-approved by them. And they had done that. We got an expedited review from the DNR, they're happy with it. And I think at our initial meetings, they were very supportive of this change. They like it residing with the engineering functioning department, you know, that is already reviewing all the stormwater for projects. And so it just makes sense that we would do the quantity, quality, and the floodplain. And so, but no, it's been great. I knew Ben a long time ago when he was with planning and I was with the city transportation area. So it was two willing participants for better government, and I think it'll serve our citizens well. The turnaround will be, I think, quicker because we have the hydrologist to look through things, and while we're knee deep in doing the hydrology and the hydraulics, we'll do the floodplain at the same time, and it just makes sense. And so, but I'm not sure. I know by the end of summer, I think planning would have the smaller communities on board. You know, we'll start with unincorporated Allen County on hopefully June 1st, and then after that, within a month or two, we'd get the smaller communities on board.
Yeah, I think the current, if we get your blessing tonight,
Yeah.
I think we're going to initiate with the governing board at the beginning of May, and then we would initiate with Planning Commission at the end of May, file in June for a July Planning Commission public hearing. And as long as it gets a positive recommendation, we'll be back to you probably early August for final approval. And it's going to be a little different because we would have a repeal ordinance, and then we would also have a resolution for you to enact the floodplain ordinance that's adopted by Allen County. So you're basically just going, the resolution would point towards the existing Allen County floodplain ordinance. So I guess I would have a question of how far in advance would you need that resolution? Do you have to do like 3 readings? I know the commissioners had to do 3 readings.
Correct.
Okay, so if we get your blessing tonight, you know, if you could let me know by, we can have that prepared for you so that we can get the appropriate number of readings, and you know, maybe hold off on the 3rd and final reading until we come in and with the repeal ordinance as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully you would be supportive of this. I think it makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah. You've been saying it's the third stool, or the third leg to the stool, right?
Yeah. It's all stormwater. It's all stormwater related.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Zach, do you have any comments? Our attorney?
No, just resolutions, you know, a lot of times we'll adopt on first reading. On this one, we'd probably want to introduce it at a meeting and then adopt it at the second meeting, and they meet twice a month. So kind of keep that in mind.
I'll make sure to get it to you if we get the blessing tonight, then I'll probably get it to you early July.
Okay.
Do you want me to send that directly to you, or to everybody?
I would send it to the clerk treasurer and she can distribute it.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dad. Okay.
Do you guys have any follow-up questions? or-
Well, I think so. I asked mine earlier. So.
Awesome.
Yeah,
We're good.
we're good. Thank you
you
very
guys
much.
so much.
I think that's the direction to go.
All right, thank you.
I
We'll
need
get
your
working on
business.
it.
I need your business card. Well, both of you, if you are, please.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
Would be helpful. Thank you.
You guys like?
Yeah.
Sure. Should be the same email that. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Anything else? I'm always
Thank you,
here to
sir.
help.
Yes.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Right. Appreciate it very much.
All right, thank you very much. You guys have a good night.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you need to go back? Sorry, do you need to go back and approve minutes first?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Wanted to keep things. We need to approve the minutes of the April 9th meeting. Did you have any? There were no corrections or adjustments.
I didn't really say anything.
Okay.
I reviewed them previously. I will make a motion and we accept the previous meeting minutes of April 9th. I have a motion.
I'll second that. Okay. Motion carried.
Roll call vote.
In favor?
In favor? All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Hi.
Do you think I should pass out that survey before? Or I have a survey for you all. I don't know if you'd like to look at it now or if you want me to introduce myself.
Introduce yourself,
Sure.
please.
My name is Garrett McNamee. I
Yes.
represent Northeast Allen Veterinary Services, Inc. And we're here today to talk about, I'll show you through the survey. Their property has an odd gap in between it where an alley is, and it's actually a public road. So what we're here today is just to ask, what we would like would be a consent to encroachment, if possible. If you all are not interested in that, we would do a petition to vacate if you would like to do that as well. Something that we're willing to talk about. But I'm happy to provide you the survey if you'd like for you to look at.
I think that's where we need to start.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what's that.
So you can see in the highlighted area is just kind of the strange alley. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, and I apologize. This is my
It's been there
first
forever.
town council. Um, yeah, thank you.
We'll try not to bite too.
Yeah, no worries. I'm filling in. The other one had a track meet this morning, or this afternoon. So.
Mhm.
But yeah, so you can see, so it's Dr. Robbins' facility up there, obviously on Main Street. And it's just, I was over there last time I was up last week, and it just looks like a gravel kind of patch. You can see in the gap in the alley area, there are AC units, there's a retention wall, there's also parking for the vet, and that's all in the public road.
We've got nothing in there utility wise at all?
The vet does, the vet has their water service.
Right, but I mean, it's nothing that the town would
No.
need an easement
No,
for cutting through there for any
No.
reason?
no, sir.
We still have access at the other end,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
So we'd have no reason to have to cut across it.
No.
And we did look for easements. We got everything back except for Town of Grabill, so I think that answers that. There is a gas line, but it's only for and I have one also if you like. It only goes to the building, so it's not a main.
Tom sent me an email wanting to know if there was any utilities in that little area. Let him know that the only thing that's in that area is the service, water service for the building.
Water service,
That's
okay.
The sewer's gonna be all out front now, but that's, I don't know where they're at though, but
Okay.
as far as the easements in that little area that you're talking about,
Yeah.
it would just be the water service area. That's
Okay.
it.
Just a water service.
Groundwater,
No, the service for the building. It runs through that little patch that they got.
but groundwater drainage.
No, that's all in the back of the building. Yep, in the back alley, yep.
And we have the electric reports, it looks like it stops.
Yep.
I mean,
The little piece of property should be clear except for the water service for the building.
yeah. And so similar to the
And
last
your
part,
request is,
so we would like, if you all would allow, to submit a consent to encroachment. That would just be an easier process, to be able to have, your consent basically, to just be on that land and for those AC units that are encroaching on the public roadway, just basically your blessing that they're permitted to encroach.
Does that relieve, consent to encroachment, does that relieve us of any liability if someone would fall and get hurt back there compared to vacating it and having it in your name?
I think that the agreement would basically address that.
Spell out liabilities?
The partner who would be much better at answering your questions. He did provide me some examples, and I believe the liability is addressed with that. I think Zach, Mr. Klutz, we would have to, obviously we would send him our proposed form, and we can negotiate it from there.
Thoughts on that, Zach? Encroachment versus just to go ahead and do a vacate?
Well, this
Sorry, I
process-
was muted. I didn't realize I was muted. The consent to an encroachment would be the easier path. I mean, basically, it's you granting them permission to have these on the public property. I can't see the survey, so I can't exactly see what's encroaching, but that's going to be the easier path, and we can address the liability in the encroachment agreement.
Okay.
That's always been a fire lane,
Okay.
and we can do away with it, but if it has to be stipulated that they can't build on it, because it's still gonna have to stay as a fire lane.
Yeah, that will be addressed, Wilmer. They wouldn't be able to. The encroachment is with respect to the improvements as they currently are. It doesn't give them the ability or right to expand their improvements or further encroach.
I did just send you that survey, Zach.
But I will say, if you look at the property now, a fire truck couldn't go through there. But I understand.
Yeah,
your point.
that's,
I understand your
I
point.
think we have all that lumber stored around the building and, that's, we've always had to keep it open even when he built the new building. They couldn't build out onto that alley,
Okay.
But these are what we're talking about are existing improvements that are encroaching, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's I think 3 or 4 AC units. There's like a very short retaining wall, and then all the parking for the building runs in that gap. It looks like it's part of the property. So
Well, I think years ago, I think it was part of that property.
yeah.
And then when everybody started rebuilding, then we set aside an alley that originally was always there, but we tried to protect that alley, for just the fire lanes, basically.
okay.
So we would still retain the property.
And honestly, Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think typically say if you guys want us to remove it, we have to remove it. Things like that. Like you still have all rights in it. You're basically just agreeing to, okay, yeah, this is how the property is now.
Mm-hmm.
We're okay with it. Don't add to it. And if we want it gone, it's got to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. This kind of clears them from what's currently an improper encroachment and kind of clears the title, so to speak, as it relates to this encroachment. It's granting them permission, kind of a non-conforming use.
Okay.
And I think that's a way better option.
Yeah.
That would be our preference as well, as I said, the encroachment as opposed to the vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're happy to consider if you send the agreement along.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Should I just email Stephanie to get your information, or?
Oh, you can email me directly. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah. That works.
That's all.
I'll send you his info, Garrett.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
You all represent,
Northeast Allenbat.
okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Dr. Robbins.
Robbie, he's got a buyer for it. And they've seen some of this stuff, and so they had to get that cleared up first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So I just
exactly.
called Zach, and we passed the name or number on to him, so,
I have my cards as well if you would like them.
yeah.
Just in case something.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, like I said,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
we have other attorneys there who could talk about these much better than me.
I think I already got one,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we'll
right.
take another one.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Zach, do you have any further comments for us this morning?
I just have just a couple. Earlier this week, I received a letter from the Leo Cedarville Regional Sewer District pertaining to a new policy they have if we want to expand our water utility within their district. And one of those they passed a policy that there are now three requirements if we want to expand water into the district, and that is we enter into an interlocal agreement with Leo Cedarville Regional Sewer District. We attest that we're in compliance with all applicable state regulations and that we don't have any violations with the IDEM, and that we submit water system information requests upon request by the district. If you recall, 2 or 3 years ago, they wanted us to enter into a interlocal agreement if we wanted to expand our water utility in the district. And the impasse that we reached was that it included a right of first refusal for them to buy the water utility, that the water infrastructure that was within the district, and we're not agreeable to that. It appears that they've adopted a policy to kind of force the town into an interlocal agreement if we ever want to expand our water utility in their area. I'll share this letter with you. I got it earlier this week before the meeting. I'll send it to Stephanie and she can distribute to all of you. I think what well, I'll pause there and see if there's questions, and then I can kind of continue.
Is it in our best interest to have one likewise?
Is it in your what?
Is it in our best interest or any interest of the town to have one likewise from them should they want to expand theirs into us?
Well, we wouldn't. They don't have water utility infrastructure. What we think they want to do is eventually build or buy a utility, but they know it's probably not feasible if there's 3 other municipalities providing water service in their district. Currently, you guys are, Pioneer Water is, and so is City of Fort Wayne. And so I think what they're trying to do is lock them up in some fashion so that they could exercise a purchase option of the water infrastructure that you own that's in their district that's been previously granted. So if that's the issue and we're unwilling to enter into an agreement that has a provision like that, which last time we were unwilling to do, it would likely mean that we wouldn't be able to do any further expansion of water customers in their district. And I can work with DLZ to show you the district territory and show you where we currently serve. And if we can't reach an agreement on an interlocal, that would be the extent of which your water utility customers outside of the town would be. Or we can revisit the whole idea. I think what I should do is respond to their attorney and say, we're looking at your letter, please provide us a draft of the interlocal agreement for our consideration, and we'll see if they continue to have the right of first or the purchase option. And I can dig up the old agreement that we negotiated in which we came to an impasse on and kind of refresh my memory. But I just got this Monday, and so I wanted to make you aware of it.
You,
Well, it's a little bit the way we have Maysville, isn't it? That we get permission from them, or they have to get permission from us to come into our area and vice versa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we certainly need permission to go into the district, and what they're saying is they've granted us permission in the past, and we extended water service to customers within their territory. But what they're saying is if you want to ever do that again, you have to enter into an interlocal agreement with us. We're not just going to let you come in and put water infrastructure in and service residents in our district without some contractual binding contract that has obligations on you and obligations on them, vice versa. The problem is if it's anything like their last agreement, it's going to include a right to purchase the water utility from the town and an obligation for you to sell it.
Nope.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's still a requirement. I guess the only thing we can do is ask to see a draft of their interlocal agreement and see, and just know that if we say no, as it currently stands, we would not be able to expand our water utility into that area. And at the next meeting, I'll have a map ready where we can look at the area so you can know what area you would no longer be able to service. Now, they're not saying anything about existing water utility and customers. They're talking about expansion.
your existing water, it goes over their sewer district, which is Cornerstone, Gateway Woods, and the retirement villas.
Mhm.
That is all your guys' water, but it's on Leo's sewer district, so.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And Eric, are you
No.
aware? Does Pioneer Water provide in there, and so does Fort Wayne?
Yeah, when you get to Cornerstone and Gateway Woods and the retirement community, we supply water, all the sewer goes to Leo. Once you get past that, there is access from Fort Wayne water. Pioneer Water is on the other side of the river,
Yeah.
so anything in between it would be Fort Wayne water, it probably wouldn't be us anyway.
Right, but Fort Wayne does provide in the district?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be curious to know if Fort Wayne has agreed to this as well. It
I
would
like your
surprise.
idea of getting a map and
Yeah.
something we can look at, Zach.
Show us.
Okay. Okay. So we'll bring this up, maybe request Stephanie that we have this. I'll send you a copy of this email or this letter to distribute to the town council. We'll just have this on the next agenda as new business.
Okay.
And the interlocal agreement and so on. Yes. Very good.
The only other item I have is, I don't recall, was there a decision for an ordinance to be prepared that would allow the clerk to prepay certain claims before approval as it relates? The statute allows certain payments, like for insurance and utilities, et cetera, that there may be an issue in waiting for the next meeting. It allows prepayment. Or was there a decision to move forward with that ordinance?
I know when I was going through things, all we do have in place is just the utilities.
So you don't have the expanded list?
We do not.
Okay. But do we even have an ordinance in place?
For the utility payments?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, but it's just limited to prepayment of utility payments?
That is correct. More or less to keep the lights on and keep functioning.
Sure. I mean, the statute is a little broader. I mean, it talks about insurance, key payments that, quote, keep the lights on more than just utilities. I guess maybe at the next meeting, I don't have it in front of me. I can provide you that full list. And if you want to expand the ordinance, we can, or we just keep it as is. It's however you guys want to do it. I just know it was on my notes here from a meeting ago.
Okay.
Probably be helpful since we only meet once a month during the winter.
Right. I think that's the purpose of the statute, is to allow some flexibility on general operating expenses that are necessary to keep the town running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Oh, hey, Zach.
Yes.
We are also Casey was supposed to be in touch for the Revive easement agreement, so we could present that. Either Jeff or I could run that over to Revive and have them sign that.
I haven't talked to Casey. I'm not aware of what's the situation.
The easement agreement that we had with Revive Home Brands.
Yes.
We had a small strip of land that wasn't on the last one we'd had, where the semis were gonna come across the north side of the road. That needed to be put into that as well.
But this is the easement that you did sign, correct?
We haven't gotten it.
No,
No. Yeah, that's encroaching by the easement near the water tower.
there's one that we initially had that was west of where their building is, their facility. I guess right east of their facility that comes up close to the tower. That was in the initial drawing. And then we had another one before that one was even signed, that they wanted to have another little small strip east of that further where the docks are and stuff. That we had that on the drawing, but when the drawing came back, that wasn't noted on there, that particular strip.
Okay. Casey hasn't called, and I didn't call him.
Casey knows all about it. He could
Okay.
probably explain it in detail way better for
I'll
us.
shoot him an email.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good.
I guess just to be clear though, my recollection is we signed that easement. We did not.
We've never taken anything there that we're aware of. I don't think we signed anything because that was to be included in it.
Okay.
We
Okay.
made last minute changes to it.
Okay.
I think we were preparing to, and then we had said this includes that small section across adjacent from the docks, and
Wasn't in the
wasn't
description.
included in that. So that's
Okay. All right. Got it.
Okay. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
DLZ. What you got for us today?
Like I said, not really any updates. Stephanie, do you know if you've gotten money from PennDOT for First Street?
I haven't gotten any like notification
Okay.
through email or anything that it's been deposited. I know Dan had a list that he had generated saying, "Hey, be on the lookout in the next coming weeks that it will be deposited," but I haven't seen anything yet. So
No worries. We got an invoice from Brooks, but we can table that for the next meeting then.
okay.
Other than that, I didn't really have anything on the water project or the sewer project, so
They're just getting started.
yeah.
They got Illinois all ripped out. I believe they got most of the little one all ripped out too, so.
You know if they're gonna final grade and seed before they put the last coat of asphalt on West Street?
Yeah.
When that might
Yeah,
be?
I think they started.
I've seen them start putting some stuff in.
They put fill in, but usually they seed that before they put the last coat on.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
come level it all out and bring the truck in and put the top fill and seed in.
Because they talked about possibly, I mean, if you guys are against this, then we can tell them to get it done, but they talked about putting a final surface asphalt on after First Street in Illinois, like everything was done. So it all kind of, you got less seams between everything. If you guys would rather them get West Street done and then come back and do First Street later, we can tell them to get it done now.
I'd rather get the landscaping done
Oh yeah,
They
landscaping.
had the asphalt done at once and they got all
and
the
then the
same.
asphalt at one time.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine with me, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Get the
As long as
landscaping.
we're still gonna be within schedule on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his schedule sounded like it'd probably be early June. So I don't know if they'd be able to get everything wrapped up by the June 1 deadline for NDOT. If you guys are wanting to apply, I'm not sure, we have to push pretty hard, and I'm not sure if they would.
I think we passed on applying for anything
Yeah, I
else.
think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that there's not gonna be any kind of a conflict with doing everything at once for the fair or any other functions. I don't know of any, but that doesn't mean something wouldn't pop up.
I mean, they're aware that it's gotta be done by August 1st,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or L2 pays for it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Was paints, any striping put in? Is there any striping put in the contract?
Yes.
Okay. Or I'm thinking more is like no parking zones, like the
Corners.
corners and some of those areas.
We didn't have that in this, like you're wanting to paint the curbs and stuff. We had no parking signs on this side, cause there was no parking
Yeah.
previously, just signs.
Right.
But if we wanna paint, we can do that.
No, I'm thinking more on the corners, because some of the corners are, somebody's parking on the other side, they can get clipped pretty easy.
Curbs and signage probably.
Should be
No
15,
parking here at the corner.
15 feet back from the stop sign.
Kinda like we did with Ellis's corner.
Those kinds of things.
We didn't have that necessarily, but it probably too much to get something thrown in there.
Okay.
If that's what we want.
Get a corner count for us.
Yeah.
And I can get a quote from them too and see how much that in it.
Okay. Thank you. Eric, what do you have for?
As you can see, we're on Indian Street again today. There was another break in front of the service. We had a break, a service, and then we had another break in front before we got the valve. As we're digging it open, it blew open. So we just shut it down, cut it all out, put all brand new in. And it held, it seems to be okay, but hopefully that'll eliminate that area. We'll get rubber back into here to seal it back up. Had a crap ton of locates, couple more sewer issues. And the only other thing I gotta talk to you guys about is, I know I've been getting quotes for the asphalt out here. Well, I've been doing my research about the properties. We own more property than just around the town hall. You are right, Warner. There is an L shape that goes by Sasha's building and down in between Elmer's building and Sasha's building that we do own. So that is gonna change our asphalt price if we want to asphalt everything, because then it takes some away from Elmer, takes some away from Sasha and brings it back to us because it is our property.
Casey was supposed to be getting us a legal of that also.
Yeah.
I
We need
I
that,
called him and
because
asked him a week or so if he
it's
could
been
get us
so
a
long.
regular
I know
legal.
we
Yeah.
went through that years ago, but boy.
Yeah.
What Elmer's been asking too,
Yeah.
how far can he go, cause he's got some, sewer problems in there.
Right.
Got them fixed.
Good.
Got them fixed. Figured it out last week.
Good.
Sasha's building was going in backwards to his building going out this way. So when the poop from her building was dropping right in his drain, if it went off just a little bit, it plugged his drain
Backing
up
up.
back. So now that they're separate owners, I made them put in separate sewer taps. If they were one owner, they can have one, but they got all separate owners now, so I made them put all new separate taps in. Plus they brought the manhole up to grade to where they can go in there and inspect it whenever they need to.
Good.
I do want to show you guys one thing though. Where is he at?
Would you have to raise that manhole up
Yes,
in that alley that's right
Yes.
there by that sidewalk?
yes, sir. I never knew it was back there.
Cause when we were talking about asphalt, that was the first thing that came to mind to me, cause I knew how low that thing sat compared to that sidewalk.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so uneven, they couldn't put stone around it.
The orange is Elmer. He's got this spot and that little spot. That's all ours plus that little L shape. That's all Sasha's right there. That little bit yellow spot.
Is
So
that the one you'd send us?
I don't know if I sent all that because I think that was later. That section right there, I
I
don't
see
think it was
that
on
one.
there yet. Well, that up to your guys' asphalt bill up to $44,000 instead of 34. Because it's gonna take another 10 grand, because you gotta dig all that out, put base in and all that. That's a little more expensive, that area, because there's no base. There's just, this out here, he's giving you guys 280, because he's just milling the top and putting a top coat on it. All that stuff back there has to be all dug out, 3 inches of base, 1.5 inches of top, and so it's more expensive to do that stuff back there. But to do all your guys' stuff is about 44,000. I got Brooks coming tomorrow morning to give me a quote, so we have a quote comparison. And then I gotta get with Sasha to see if she wants to do hers, and I wanna try and coordinate with you guys, Elmer and her, if they all wanna do it, to try and do it all at once.
Yeah.
Because we try and break that up into little bitty sections, trying to get traffic in and out here is gonna be a nightmare for days. So if we can just shut it down maybe one day, get it all done,
Okay.
if you guys
Good.
agree to it, but if we can free up the money to do it. While we're getting ready to do First Street too, is not a bad idea too, make it all look real nice for the fair, so.
What's that gonna do for your drainage, adding all that hard surface versus the gravel?
Well, we put in all new drainage. So it's all new back there.
It's all gonna handle.
Elmer said he does not have a water issue back there anymore since we put in that one drain in the middle and he redid his one up front. He goes, he's bringing all new spouting underground. He said he doesn't even have a water issue back there anymore.
But I mean, so it'll capture, when we go to all asphalt,
Yeah,
that'll capture
that's
all that.
Yeah, and it
I
won't
know
plug up anymore because it won't fill up full of dirt and rocks. That's the problem. When they plow back there, they take all the rocks and dirt and they go right into the storm drain. So every spring I gotta dig all that back out.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can eliminate some of that stuff, it'll clean that up a little back there a little bit, make it look like nicer.
So we're gonna be getting a cost on raising that drain as well.
It's already done.
That drain
That'll all be cut
in
in.
the alley.
Nope, Robert said he will address all that when he puts in, if he's gotta raise it up a little bit, he will do all that while he's doing his asphalt. So, it's all in the bid.
Okay. We'll wait for your
I'm just waiting for Brooks.
book.
Yep.
Have a competitive quote.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just something to compare apples to apples.
What would the schedule look like for that? If we say yes let's just say we say yes in May.
Well, if you say yes, and I can get Elmer to say yes, and Sasha to say yes, I would say within 2 weeks of you guys all agreeing to have it done, 2 to 3 weeks. Because as Robert, he said, his schedule's about 2 to 3 weeks out right now. So he just did the parking lot to the post office, if you guys haven't seen that.
So potentially it'd be done by June as well.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yep.
And money?
Money.
Do we have money for doing that if we needed to? Or if we chose to?
I can look into it.
Look into that.
Anything else?
Check your purse.
The park drainage is all done, works wonderfully. Things still flowing water. Underground, it's all underground. You won't see it anymore unless we get them big gully washers. Everything, you got an 8-inch pipe running everything underground from the trailer park. I am in the process of working with the Ball Diamonds to get their stuff checked out and done, and the railroad tracks to get them hopefully to do their area, and then we're gonna have to. Joyce is talking with, she's an advocate for the trailer park or something, so
Yeah.
she said once we get everybody to take care of those, she'll get the trailer park to take care of their stuff. So, but it is a lot drier over there now that we've got the park draining and moving and not sitting there, so.
They've got a working plan for that as well. I've been dealing with
Good.
the Boys League.
Well, I did all the mapping of stuff, all the property. I think it's all Ball Diamonds, to be honest with you, because it's all behind the fence. I think the trailer park fence is on the Ball Diamond property.
It's close to 10 foot. They own close to 10 foot
As I was going through all the property markers.
north of that fence the Boys League does.
Yeah,
They own almost right up to the back of those
Those
trailers.
Wow.
yeah. As I was doing all the property markers and doing all the property checks, it looks like that whole area.
That fence is in the wrong place, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But they put it up. The Boys League put
Yeah.
the fence up.
Yeah, right.
They just didn't want to go right up against the trailers.
Right, yeah.
But they're gonna put in, they have to go all the way back in that ditch, northeast corner.
Yep.
It is 2 or 3 inches higher
Yep.
than where it's being fed in.
Yep.
So they have to dig that up, lower the whole thing,
Yeah.
dig it,
Mhm.
dredge it, and then they're hoping they can get that other ditch cleaned out from the park and everything. But they were supposed to get a price either yesterday or today from, is it Frisch's, I think, is whatever his name is, to get that, and then Ryan, who's running that project, is gonna call me on that too.
We got the drainage done behind your dad's house. I didn't know how you wanted to finish around, if you want stone or whatever you want, but
That,
it was crushed, it wasn't doing no good.
Yeah,
but it's all fixed.
the neighbor's property.
Yeah, well, it's all fixed now, so,
I seen that dirt's sinking down in.
If you
I'm
want-
not gonna do that.
well, if you want, we can just dig it out a little bit, just put a bunch of stone around it if you want.
I'll ask Sean.
Yeah, however he wants it done, we'll finish it out that way. And I believe that's, oh, the drives are in, Votof's coming tomorrow to install for Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we'll get Pedro back up and going, hopefully by next week back up full strength.
So it'll be all pumping like it should.
It's pumping like it should, it's just not reading like it should.
Mm.
And then it's working fine, it's just throwing Fort Wayne into a tizzy, but I've got them all settled down too, so they're just waiting on them to be installed, so.
Okay, very good. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna skip your discussion just a moment.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
May we answer any questions for
Oh,
you?
no, I was just here. I didn't know if I should be or not.
Sure, you remember
I'm
the-
not veterinarian, so that they were talking about. So I thought I'd show up. I didn't know what to expect at all, to be honest.
You live in Grabill, thank you, welcome. And yes, you're welcome at any town council meeting
Yeah.
Anytime.
anytime. And if you have questions or good comments or bad comments, let us know. That's what we're here for, to make the town a better town.
My government professor made me go.
Well, if you're looking for fun, they're not bad.
Honestly, I thought that was pretty interesting.
We got a lot of stuff going on, so it keeps you entertained a little bit.
Thank you. Let's go through the bank accounts or SB1.
Whichever you'd like me to cover or talk about first.
Okay. Let's do the bank accounts later. Go ahead.
Okay. If you guys weren't aware, there was a State Bill 1 that's been working its way through the legislation. Unfortunately, in my opinion, it did get written into this past week, which is going to cut back on future lit shares and things like that. That's going to be extra income coming in to the town. I also foresee with this, community crossing matching grants are probably going to start dwindling down a little bit, if not cease to exist for a duration, if not. So I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. I know I had emailed you guys about it a couple of weeks ago, but all of us clerk treasurers have been following this pretty tightly.
Yes.
Because obviously this is going to impact us little guys more than I think they were anticipating. So, like I said, I just wanted to keep you guys updated that that had been passed this past week. So,
Thanks for putting in this.
you're welcome.
It's helpful. Thank you.
And I know at the last meeting we had talked about bringing on possible summer help for town flower watering.
Yes.
I had reached out to Elaine Miller with our insurance company, and in the event that we continue to use Ellis Tree Service, we're going to have to obtain a COI from them for them to even get on our equipment. Currently, I don't have anything on file for Ellis or Ellis Tree Service for his COI or W-9 or any of that information. So
They
that would
should
have to
that
be.
from the get-go.
We should have.
Yeah.
We've never allowed anybody to do town work without having that up front. Same as the snowplow people.
Yep. But I've flipped and shook that office upside down, trying to find a COI for them, and I do not.
And it should be a
Show.
yearly updated thing anyway.
Yeah.
Proof
Yeah.
of payment anyhow. So
I agree. So
And
in the event that we choose to do a part-time position, we'll just have to get them signed up with Elaine and the insurance and just have them covered and blanketed, just like Eric and Clayton are under our policy. So
Yeah. And at this point, when will the flowers be coming?
those are scheduled to be Memorial Weekend, if not the weekend after.
Okay.
So just same on schedule as Brian's were. So
And watering?
that's what we need to tackle if we're going to do summer
That's
part-time, or if we're going to
the
continue.
day they get here, they gotta water.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So we need
and
to
they
get
gotta,
that lined
it's
up.
every day after that, so.
So that's
So we gotta get on the ball, get Ellis talked to and get him,
see what his price is going to be for, I guess, the season, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys would prefer, but
Well, I'm okay with looking for somebody else, but in the meantime, we should have somebody at least locked in. I mean, I would make sure that he would still be on board doing it.
Right.
Get a price. We know he knows the schedule.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you know of anybody or think of anybody. All right. Okay. Bank discussion.
It was, I had somebody from Hicksville Bank on top of this. I've had multiple instances with First Merchants Bank where I'm having issues with deposits and or corrections being made to our account. And I've asked numerous times that if corrections are being made to our account, that I be notified before the corrections are made. I was doing the reconciliation for March and came across a couple massive corrections that First Merchants corrected on our sewer and water accounts that should not have been corrected, and it was clearly a bank error, but instead they debited one of our accounts over $3,000 and credited one of our accounts over $2,000. At no point did anyone call me or notify me until it was we're going on a month now, to when I decided, when I scheduled to reconcile the books, that I came across these random credits and debits that had happened into our accounts. This isn't the first time that it's happened, and when I asked, why was I not notified about this? Well, we've got a lot going on, and we don't know what you need taken out of the accounts. And I sat at First Merchants Bank last week from 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. working with their banker over there, trying to figure out why they debited and credited these accounts the way they did. Finally, we ended up finding them, but there were 6 checks that did not make it into the deposit initially. So one, that makes me look like I'm not doing my job, because those 6 checks had to be re-ran through their system. On our customer's end and utilities, they were squared away. But on their ledgers, now I had one individual come up and he goes, "You guys overdrafted my account. I sent you that check over a month ago." And then I had to explain that it wasn't me, it was our financial institution. On top of that, I've had issues where I go in there and the tellers don't know what they're doing. There's no corrective action being taken. And I had Kevin Roth is now working for Hicksville Bank. And he presented that he can offer us a money market special earning 4%, which that's a whole nother topic, because we were locked into 4% with our general account, and without notification, we've been dropped down to roughly 2%, which is a significant decrease with no notification. And I understand Hicksville Bank's rate is going to be variable, but it's something that I think we should strongly consider. They've made it quite clear that they intend to pay strong attention to detail to make sure that our accounts are where they need to be. And I don't feel we're getting that with First Merchants at the current juncture. And there's not really any assistance that I'm getting from the banking center manager saying that he's going to help correct this or make notes on our account that if there is changes made to any of our deposits that I'm to be called immediately. So I kind of just want to put that bug in your guys' ear and see what your thoughts are.
They picked on the wrong person. Goof it up.
Being a former employee of First Merchants Bank, I know what's to be expected. I used to do these corrections myself, and it doesn't matter if it's a penny correction or if it's $3,000. I made it a point that if I did those corrections, the customer was the first person I called before I even took a pen to the paper and made that correction.
How does the state board of accounts look at switching banks?
We have to obviously have a paper trail for everything. So everything's going to have to be. They don't have an issue with us transferring our accounts. So it's honestly up to us where we want to put those.
Well, I would just want to make sure that it's not calling any kind of attention, and I think we're going to have to be overly transparent with them. I think it'd be a pretty big deal to sit down. Before we would do that, we would need to have a sit down with the bank itself.
Yeah.
I don't want to switch it and send them a note. I think we should sit down and
Talk to them.
I think we would ask you to get all these details in writing so
Okay.
that we can have a discussion on why we're considering this and what our moves are, because we've been partners with them for a long, long time. And we really need to lay it out there with them, be transparent.
And they bought up some of our bonds too, so, we gotta be a little careful. They still holding some of the bonds.
Right.
And I'm not even. I know Claude and I kind of briefly talked about it. I don't intend to take the bonds away, or even the safe deposit box. But I think our operating funds, shouldn't be messed around with
More
like
of the
that.
day-to-day operations.
Yeah.
And there's no problem with an out-of-state bank handling our funds in-state.
As far as I have seen, there's nothing stating that we can't do that. I do know that there is a more local bank that is also interested in taking us on, Lake City Bank. There's been conversation between other municipalities as well, so it's not just us. So like I said, I just wanted to put bugs in your ear.
Well, I'd say before we go any further, you need to get a clean release from the State Board of Accounts that it's not an issue, and that's what I was bringing up about, because I'm hearing going from Ohio, going from Indiana to money going to Ohio, make sure that there's no gray area there, even though it's a local bank, it's still
I'd say we check with Zach to see.
Yeah, they do have regulations on where the brick and mortar of the bank is located within your territory, and State Board can walk you through all those requirements and parameters.
Okay.
Good.
I'll give Mitch a call probably later this week then and have a discussion with him.
How many banks do we have in the town? How many different banks?
3 now.
Is Hicksville in the town?
Hicksville is in town in corporate limits.
Okay.
We also have financial partners and then First Merchants.
Because there's territorial restrictions on where you can deposit money. But if those are in your territory, you should be fine. And there's exceptions as well. The state board will be able to give you the board of depositories.
And do they look differently on a credit union versus a bank?
I don't. Well, the bank has to be on the state approved list.
Gotcha.
The state board for depositories has a list of approved banks, and then once you're on that list, then the bank has to be within certain territorial restrictions.
Okay.
Can you turn him up a little bit?
All right. And what else do you have for us?
Just the bills. Just the bills.
Just bills.
Before we gotta talk about golf cart stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think it's, we can tell them to put turn signals on when the county and the state say we don't have to, as long as they got headlights and taillights. We're putting a hardship on a lot of people that depend on them golf carts. One is our park board president. She uses that golf cart to do stuff back in the wetlands. She cannot afford $900 to put turn signals on. And we do hand signals. I mean, I'm gonna put them on mine because I want them on there. But, and then we got Timmy. I mean, all of his work's in town. And to make him get a driver's license, he don't have a driver's license. And I don't know if he can get one. I just think, the county has give us this thing. We can go anywhere with the golf cart the way it is, but it says you gotta have headlights and taillights. That's a must,
Yep.
But I think we need to, they need to show proof of insurance to get the sticker, but I think we need to drop the turn signals.
Okay.
I mean, that's,
I can see the burden of.
I'm getting so many calls on that,
Yeah,
You
got
know.
that highlighted.
yeah, and so, but I think, we need the taillights and headlights, that's gotta be on there when they come in for a sticker,
And right now, I believe that's how it's written right now, is that
Yeah,
it's required.
yeah, and I think that we need to stay with that, cause we have all them people coming from Harlan that buy their groceries, they can't drive a car anymore, but they can drive the golf cart. And, to come into our town then, if we make them get turn signals and all this kind of stuff, and most of them coming over here, I think they got them on there, but some, it's a hardship. I called just to have mine done, and it's $950, I said, well, I'm gonna do mine regardless, but I think we need to drop the turn signals myself and go with the ordinance that we already got in place,
Which we per se don't have an ordinance. We're just following the county. Is that correct?
Well, we just had years ago, we had an ordinance on our, they had to show proof of insurance. And this kind of stuff, you'd have to look it up, I'm not sure what it says.
I do know that we have a current golf cart ordinance.
That's what I'd like to see, cause I just have Allen counties and the Leo Cedarville.
And I don't,
I thought I had given that to you guys a couple of weeks ago, a couple of meetings ago, when we initially started talking about implementing the golf carts again.
Dig back to the stuff.
Joyce brought this down to me in a
Yeah.
copy of it, I didn't have one before.
That was Allen County.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Allen
I'm
County.
sorry, I probably misplaced them.
It's okay.
So if you have, I would appreciate it very much.
And I think the county should override us. It's a countywide thing, you know.
Actually, we override the county with whatever ordinance we
Yeah.
put in place.
Right. I believe that
We
that
can
would.
do whatever we want.
That's yeah.
But I think we're hurting ourselves if we stipulate that turn signals on there, and that eliminates the people coming
Right.
from Harlan and
Yeah,
Well, and we can do
the
that.
buy stuff, you know, and I think we gotta be a little careful how we,
right.
you know,
Which, per the county, they can get in trouble driving over from Harlan anyway,
yeah.
because that's illegal to be on that road.
So let's look at it, if you will, please. Stephanie,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. We don't have to do that one today
No.
anyway.
Because as old as that is, we need to spell out the trail usage on that as well for golf carts. We'll need to make some revisions.
It's gonna be a racetrack.
What's that?
It's gonna be a racetrack.
We'll see.
E-bikes and golf carts, doesn't seem to be a racetrack.
Well, the sheriff said he will be policing that,
Yeah.
so.
No, I don't think any vehicle should be on the
No.
trail, period, you know.
Yeah.
You got one and then
Just a
you
bicycle.
let 10 of those on, you know.
Just a bicycle and walk.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And bicycle, pedestrian, and motorized
Mhm.
wheelchairs.
So
Yeah.
we just wanna hold on that then a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, we need to see the copy of that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, you know, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm not sure.
That was one thing I wondered about too, about mobilized wheelchairs. Is that exempt?
I would say it would be.
I would think so.
I mean, we have handicapped access to all those.
Mm-hmm.
I would think under ADA, you'd have to accommodate that,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
because they have to be so wide to be able to turn on and everything else, so we're
Mhm.
inviting them onto there.
Right.
We'll get that, review it, combine them.
Okay.
And if we're not asking anybody to add anything other than, do most golf carts have brake lights and front lights?
They have taillights and headlights.
That's pretty much standard,
That's standard, yeah.
okay? I was just looking at making sure if we're gonna put something into
Well, they gotta have
effect.
that.
Right, but I'm saying if they
Yeah.
don't, we're gonna have to say,
Mhm.
hey, if we approve this in May, there's a 30-day grace
Yeah.
period
Yeah.
to have this put in, it would go
Yeah,
into
well,
effect 30 days after.
See, mine's I think a 99, and it's got headlights and taillights, you know. So, you know, most of them aren't that old, you know. And,
Okay. We shall review and sign for the payroll or
Not payroll too, but yes.
payroll and payment.
Any more public comment from the back row? You good?
Well, my golf cart
Oh, I said it too.
has a
opened that up.
plate on the front of it that says farm vehicle. And it's raised up so I can clear the corn stubble, so I can go out there when all the sellers feed sacks and the factories can blow plastic and sacks and bags and everything. I can drive around in the corn stubble. It's raised up probably a little higher than it should be because it's a long step down for me anymore. So it's basically a farm deal. It is. I do have carry. I got an insurance card. I had liability on it, and well, I can have the cart, I guess, insured.
But
So
when
I
you-
don't know.
yeah,
I drive into town. It's driving to town, I guess. On
you
the
got a
side
slow
burner.
moving sign on it?
Pardon?
You got a slow moving?
Yeah, slow moving vehicle sign.
Got that, that's one thing it's got.
But it's got headlight. It's got a whole. It's got a horn. It's got
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
But just like I got a Bobcat tractor, I just got it last June, and actually, of course, it's diesel. So anymore, I just write it down and get diesel fuel down here at the station, fill it up, it lasts forever, the diesel fuel. Because we don't have any farm tractors that have diesel anymore, so. But I guess we can drive, they drive the Bobcats through, I guess we can drive the diesel tractor.
It's a farm vehicle, so it can go anywhere.
But my golf cart says farm vehicle too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
got a
really
farm
have to be
vehicle
real
plate
careful
on
with the
the front.
description.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There's legal description for
Yeah.
golf cart. It's in both of the ordinances as far as what's actually considered.
Any comments about paying the bills? No, then that 33, or, yeah,
Gas,
3,390.
ATVs.
That came back as a credit.
And they all go.
Increase because kids are gonna.
That was the credit that we had
And
to
you drive
make
them all over
to
the county, but that's why we're gonna come.
truck and I
From
do
the
that
bank?
huh? From the March corrections. So yes, that's what that is.
So that's supposed to be a credit then instead of a debit.
They put that funds into our account. I had to take it out to put it into the other one, if that makes sense.
Ah. Yes, I understand you now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Mine's camouflage too, so they can't see me
You're
anyway.
in misery.
Yeah.
You just got wheels rolling around.
Questions, concerns, Wilmer?
No,
Okay.
no.
I will make a motion, then we pay the bills for the April 23 presentation. All in favor?
Yes.
Still need to roll call it
Yes.
for any reason?
Let's
We
do
got
it. Let's do it. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Claude?
Yeah.
Wilmer? Motion carried.
Yeah. You can sign it.
I'll steal them right away from you.
Any other comments from the floor? Visitors?
Zach's looking around like he's got neighbors in there.
Nope.
No.
Any other comments from Jeff or Wilmer?
Nope.
Okay.
Then I make a motion after the meeting be adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thanks for coming this evening.